I'm so glad to see you this morning. We're going to try really hard not to get any bad luck. It's Friday the 13th.
Yay!
Oh, did you get out of the right side of bed? Well, look what happened to poor David. On the way to work, he got hit by a lightning bolt. And look what happened to him. It's okay.
It's okay though. I like it. I wanted to be more like Sue, so I dyed my hair.
Okay. Well, not quite. You're not quite like Sue, but that's good. He texted us a picture yesterday, and Teresa screamed. Too much fun.
We've all laughed at him.
We've all laughed at him. Well, that's good. I asked if he would be a good sport, and he said he would be. So, finally, we're going to work with the Accuquilt angles. Do you remember it was back in December I told you to get your angles and get all ready because we were going to work on them, and then we did all of the blocks from Fabulous 40 that we could. We have so much to show you with the angles. So, do you know what the angles is? Oh, it's behind me. Let me see. Can you grab me that one? Just grab me the box. That's good. The girls said they're going to help me because you know what? I can't even remember half the names of these quilts. Okay, this is the companion set called the Angles. It goes with mix and match. All of your other dies, your mix and match. You get the same size angle. If it says that it's, let me see, this one doesn't say. Okay, I see it. Okay, now I see it. Mix and match, 8-inch cube. So this is an angle that would also be an 8-inch angle, right? You just get the companion one, And there's 4 in it. Okay, turn. And maybe you should show Eric. Go behind me and show. Oop, he left. Okay, fine. There's 4 dies.
We're coming in.
Okay, we're coming in. Yeah. Perfect. All right, Hunter. Okay, so, no, you're good. Stay there. So, okay, so the first one is it's called the triangle and a square. And these are the sides for the triangle and a square. But there's another one then, and this is the kite. And these sides also go with the kite. Is that clever? And there's this one that we have not used yet, but we will be. Sounds tricky. It's the trapezoid. But wait till we do one of those, huh? So basically what we have to show you is many quilts from Quilt in a Day that you can use using the triangle and a square and the kite. I love those 2 pieces. You know, at Quilt in a Day, we actually use rulers. In Accuquilt, we cut them.
Yes.
Whoa!
Yeah.
And they're perfect, and they just go together.
Yes.
Okay, so you have a whole stack.
I have a whole. Oops,
Oh, you got to be mic'd. Okay.
Hello.
She stacked them this
I
morning
stacked
for
them.
me.
Yes, it's on. I turned it on.
She
So the
stacked
first one that I put uses the 6-inch cube angle, and this is Tennessee Waltz. You might remember it back from 2002.
Oh, I love that.
So you can see
Oh.
this little patch. That's your triangle and a square. And it's just really scrappy with the 4 patch and everything. So you would get the 4 patch out of your regular part of your cube. Okay.
And that's a book.
Which part would you get out of the cube then?
The 4 patch, and also,
The center.
yeah, the center you could get out, and then this you could get out of there too. So
And
it's
you
this
can
book.
get the little triangle and a square.
This is just a 6-inch.
See? Oh, there's actually a sign on the wall.
Yes,
That
I
when
made a
we're all-
sign that
You can photograph it.
so you'll know.
Okay, this is good.
Okay. Also in the book, there's a table runner, and that's what the next one is. And I just thought this was really nice and cheery for the summertime. Yeah. So we taught this as a one-day class for a while. We kind of have a project, and we do it all year long on the road, and this happened to be one of our year's projects.
Cool, beautiful.
All right.
Tennessee waltz, triangle and a square.
Yes, and the next one we're going to show deals with the 8-inch cube and 8-inch companion angles. And we seem to have
Ooh.
most of our quilts. Okay, so the one that Eleanor is holding, that's called Kylie's Kite. And that you can see it right here. I made this one out of her new Heritage Homestead line.
This
And
one
the-
is easy.
Yes.
Really easy.
That one's really easy. And then this one is called Let's Go Fly a Kite, because we still use the kite shape, so we had to think of another kite name. And then you can get your regular 4-patch out of the main part of your cube. And this is the 8-inch cube.
Is that nice? Yes. Kylie is my 4th grandchild to go down the line. She's Ryan's little girl, Kylie.
Yeah.
Whoop.
And here's just another sample
I love this one. This is my favorite one.
that lives at my
don't-
house.
And do we have the pattern back here? Have you been showing it? Yeah, here, show the pattern. Actually, does it say made for Accuquilt on the front?
No, it does not.
It doesn't, but it's simple. Simple to do. Just with the kite and the 4-patch. A lot of them I've been converting.
So you just follow the directions like it's normal.
Yes, Barbara, you just follow my directions. You got to be in the right page. That could get you confused.
That's right.
Okay. So the next one we have is called Autumn Leaves. And you can see where your kite shape is right in the upper corner of it. And the rest
is
of
beautiful.
it, you can probably get a lot of it out
Yeah.
of your cube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one is really
oh, I
fun.
love this one.
Really, really fun. And you can make
Yeah.
the table runner
This is
into a
Teresa. She brought it from
turkey.
home.
Oh, I like that.
Very, very fun. Very, very fun. Okay, so now,
Okay,
did you
this one is called Roundabout Stars. And I would say, you know how they're putting in roundabouts in the streets lately? So that's kind of the whole roundabout theory on that one. But still, now this is the triangle in a square. We like changed over from the Kylie's Kite. And we went over to the other angle shape for the triangle in a square. And this is still the 8-inch.
and just the 4-patch and then the half square triangles.
So you
that
could do
can
this
use.
whole
Mix
quilt.
and match. Whoa. Is this too much?
No.
Or is this fun? It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Here's the lap size. It's really a large lap, almost like for a twin bed, huh?
Yeah.
That's nice.
So the major difference when you use the ruler from Quilt in a Day, you have to square up the patches. When you use the Accuquilt dies, they are already perfect sizes and there's no squaring up. So you can do it about half the time. It's really fun.
All right.
I love it.
Yeah, that quilt's really pretty. Okay.
Okay.
Here's another one that uses the 8-inch companion, and this is called Moon Dance. Moon Dance.
Right there's a triangle and a square.
There.
Triangle and a square.
Yeah. And this is just, you can just do your half square triangle and then your little 4-patch in the middle. That's my modern look. Yeah.
Well, the quilting, how about let's let Eric look at the quilting. It's really nice. How about that, Eric? Isn't it pretty?
Yeah, the quilting was done with a really thin thread. So although it's all quilted in white, it just blends right in because the thread is so thin that you only see the pattern of the quilting. You don't really see the thread of the pin. So
Cool. Want to see the back?
Yes.
Just as
yeah, I had a stack of
interesting.
fat quarters.
How fun.
Woo! Ah!
That is really fun. I like that.
Did you get it, Sue's the modern gal?
It matches her outfit.
There you go. It's a theme.
Yes.
Blendy.
Yeah. My husband really likes this quilt, and I put it in my car last night, and he goes, "And where is that quilt going?" So
So Teresa is more traditional. This is her quilt.
yeah. So this is our Patches of Life. And in the pattern, you can actually make this quilt in 2 different sizes. And this, where you see this patch right here, this is made with the 9-inch companion cube. Okay? To do this, it finishes at 5 inches. So that's how you do that. And the next one we're going to show has the exact same number of patches. However, it's done with the 12-inch. And it finishes at, that patch finishes at 6 inches.
Wow. You definitely see the design.
Yeah. You can definitely see the,
You can really see it when you look in the monitor too.
yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah, that curving design works really well when you have a good contrast along all of that edge, not just those triangles in a square. It has to be the half square triangles as well.
Yeah.
We love this quilt.
And the wave along the
Yeah.
outside edge.
And the backing?
Oh, the backing's just phenomenal. I love this piece of fabric.
Wow.
Woo, what a show. Wow, thank you. And I'm not sure what oh, it's David's quilt. All right, cool. So we actually designed a new quilt for using the kite and the triangle and a square together. And we took it from Barbara Brackman. She called it a guiding star, but we had to make some changes so we could make the seams lock together. It was kind of bulky, and so we made a lot of changes. This is really hot off the sewing machine. It is very hot, right, Teresa? She just put the binding on it this morning. So it's just really fun.
Just fit in there. Just
Isn't it fun? So what I'm going to show you is how to, we started just making one block. And then we found, oh my gosh, we had all this fabric hanging left over from this kite. They won't like that. We're not going to waste fabric. So then we figured out how to cut the triangle and a square out of the same piece of fabric. Ah, and look at this, a red kite and a red triangle in a square. Does that sound like fun? Yeah. Oh, these 2 girls are rubbing their chins, going, woo! I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait. But it has a very simple center, so you're going to see how to do that. Basically, we have these 2 blocks the same and these 2 blocks the same, just in opposite corners. And then we put a square, little lattice and a little square, just so you have that secondary pattern right in the middle. Cool. All right, so Teresa, I'm going to have you put
good Christmas gift.
a good Christmas gift.
Because you could whip it out. You'd have time to whip it out and do it.
Just, you could whip it out in like half a day.
Well,
So David, do you want to come up here and share yours? So David was working independently on his, and he just brought it in this morning. He didn't have time to get it quilted.
It's not done yet, but
But,
oh, David.
oh, they like it.
look at that here right there.
Don't put it down yet.
So would you get the microphone and David can tell about what he did? Isn't it pretty? I really like it.
I like that.
He laid it out the other night, and I said, oh, that's great. Okay, David, we'll hold it and you can talk.
Okay, so
about
I
it.
had a layer cake, and you know layer cakes have just different shades of fabric, and so I was kind of had these light reds, and I didn't know what to do with them. So we kind of just jumped in blindly, and I had a stack of blocks. So we were sitting in the back, and I had it laid out, and it just kind of looked weak. The quilt looked weak. I had the light reds in the corners, so what we did was we moved them around, and I did the darker reds in the corners instead of the light ones, and it kind of balanced the quilt. It was really easy, and I made mine before we realized we can cut out a mirror image. So I kind of wasted fabric, but I also was thinking I can use it and piece a little border around the edge or something. So it's not done yet, it's in progress.
So the one thing I would like to say, his size of triangle, you wouldn't have been able to cut 4 out
Oh,
of
I
1.
wouldn't have. Okay.
The layer cake, You need a 10.5-inch square, and the layer cake is only.
So I did it
10.
right. So if anybody
He did it right. He did it right. Yeah, but the smaller ones you could
smaller
do
ones
it.
you could. So if
Yeah,
I would've gone
smaller ones that you could do it. And so I really like his lattice that he put through, and with the cornerstone, he really gets a nice secondary pattern going right in here with this. And it's just really, really fun. So basically you have the triangle and a square, and you always have the kite in the corners, and the way it's sewn together, there's not the bulk in the corners. We figured that out. And then the simple triangle, square and a square.
And I really
Square
want
and
to
square.
get on point. So if you kind of hold it.
Really?
It looks really neat if you hold it on
Okay,
point.
let's do that.
See?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, it
Yeah, it
changes
does.
it. And the only reason I noticed is it was on my bed before I came to work, and I was like, oh, I like that. So,
But you still can see the secondary block
oh yeah.
nicely. Yeah.
Yeah. And how long do you think it takes to make the block?
Oh, it's really fast. You just have to have time. When I finally had time, I sat for about 2 hours and finished
Yeah,
all of them.
it didn't take me long
Was
either.
that cutting?
Well, I
and
had my patches made first. I was sewing my blocks together. Yeah.
everything was
Okay, so
Okay.
David, this is your mission. While Teresa and I carry on, you go and ask Merritt. Where's those patterns, Merritt? Okay, so do you want to see the different sizes? Yes. Okay, so you know how we all get to have a cube, a mix and match, and a cube, and you get to try it. Okay, so this is what Sue did with her six. We have to say 6 cube because it's not a 6-inch measurement. It's a 6 cube mix and match, and angles 6. Okay, and then this is what I did. This is the 8 cube, both of those, and we're going to get bigger and hold it up. Okay, we're growing, and she can put it all up. This is from the 9 cube and the 9 angle. And then David is lucky he gets the 12 cube and the 12 mix and match. Everything is 12. But it's not 12 inches because what's the size of that?
18, I believe.
18.
That's more like 12, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is
No, that's a 13 and 3/4. or something
13.
like that. Yeah.
13, but they're just really, really fun. And you know that we are turning all these blocks, these, what do we call them? Orphan blocks. They're not going to be orphans. They're going to find a family soon. We have our design wall, and we've been putting them up every month. And when we put this one into the pattern, it looks really good. It looks really, really good. Okay, so I have my Yo Big. Woo, I'm so excited. So we like to take our dies and put them in trays. It's easier for us. And we mark the ends all the time so we know what, because we have all these going in our sewing room. And so we like to line up. This is all the mix and match, and this is the angle. So I'm going to start with the squares. Let me see. Can you give me the square? Turn it on. Okay, I'm turned on. And these are the pieces for the center square. It's yellow and yellow sides and a center right in the middle. And do you have, let me see. Let me look at this. It's 6. 6 for the square. And you know what? If you want to make this little quilt, just double everything. You might as well double everything when you cut it. It'd be really, really fun. Okay, that one.
So you're putting on how many?
I have 2.
2?
I'm going to, oh no, actually I don't. I only have 2. You should have 4 if you're going to make 4 blocks.
Okay.
Just double everything when you finally get your chart. And then this one is the half square triangles. These are for the sides. And you get 2 each time. And so there are actually 4 and that'll just make 2 for the center. So just line those up, and I just want to show you, it's kind of hard to see, but this is on point, this is a little off, so we've drawn a line on the diagonal, so when you take your rough cut piece and you put it right on there, you can line up the corners so you get that on.
You've done that before.
We've marked a lot of ours
Yeah, I think
because
that's a great idea.
you want to make sure you get it on there square so you have the grain. Okay, so the cool thing is I need my 2 little mats because this is my go big. And so we love it. Just take 2, get them started, stand there and dance and have a good time, do your exercise program, and they come out. Woo, isn't that cool? I love that. Okay, so then really press it, and twist it, twist and turn. And so now you've got these little pieces. Look how nice they are. Look at these, that's good for nothing. Okay. Pillows, doggy beds. So this is the center right there. Okay, and Teresa's laying it out right over there. Okay, how about, do you want to sew these right away? Where is that Merritt? We won't cut these next 2 until we get our pieces all sewn. Okay.
I just checked.
Oh!
She's checking the machine.
Okay, Teresa is checking the machines because I have to tell you, we did 3 classes on Tuesday, and when we went to the 3rd class, Teresa slept all afternoon and didn't have the quilts folded. No.
That was the truth. That was a funny one.
That was not the truth. We were so busy. Okay, the really cool thing about this triangle, the triangles, if you look, they have little notches on them, and you just center them. I love this patch. And is your iron hot, Teresa?
It's getting there.
Okay, it's getting there. All right, 1/4-inch seam. I have my sew straight on my sewing machine. Yay, I can't sew without my sew straight. And she put me a little jumper scrap in. So you're just gonna go zip right down one side, and you can just cut and whip it around. You can cut and whip it around there. That's better. And let me show you how, it's just a little bit. Can you see that little corner? Yeah. That little red? You just center it on there. And that's all that you have, those little patches. It's just pretty amazing. I really love it. Okay, and you're gonna press this for me. Oh, you're showing off. We got something new at Quilt in a Day. We got a monster wool mat. Okay, why is a monster wool mat? Well, you don't really need the monster for this little piece, but if you're pressing yardage backing before you cut, then you can actually lay this right down the top and press. Okay, so now Teresa's just gonna set the seams and press and open. Yeah, and so I actually have a second one all ready to sew. Woo, okay, there we go, thank you. Okay, so now, at first I thought, oh, I should trim this little 1/8 of an inch off. Well, forget that. It's just a little bit on there. If you take your next piece, when you put this side on here, are you bringing the rest of them?
Well, when they come out, I'll bring them.
Okay. When they'll come. He's too embarrassed to come back.
Well, he was on the morning show of Block Party. You introduced him to everybody
Oh, yeah.
in the morning.
Oh, you're talking about Mary.
Merritt.
Oh, Merritt.
When-
No, I said Dave was too embarrassed to come back. See how that just lines up? No tips. You do not have to let your tips hang out. It's more discreet, huh? And it just lines up. And that has been the biggest problem with me, figuring out how much tip to let hang out. Because if you don't do it just right, then it just doesn't work for you. And you do have to do a 1/4 of an inch seam. And that's why I really like my sew straight. So it helps me. Ah, look at that. Ooh, looking good. And you don't have to square this one up either. It's amazing. So this is a really nice patch too. Nice and easy to do. Okay, so now I'm going to show you, and then Teresa's going to press. Ta-da!
That's cool.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
And so now you just press them open, and look how nice the corners are. No squaring up.
Cool.
All right.
Be very careful.
Oh, be very careful. Hello, how are you? I was just ready to do the most amazing thing. I'm so glad you walked in just now. Okay.
I'm gonna unplug.
Oh, you're going to unplug it? Okay.
Don't want you.
So now, first I'm going to show you, let me see. I'm going to get the sides. The sides. I'm in the angle cube now. These are the sides. These are 2 triangles. And Teresa made me nice. She made 4 nice stacks. Woo! So you can cut up to 6 layers. So I've got 2, 4. This is a long piece. Oh, I have 8. Oh, Teresa. It's a long rectangle. We're going to get fired. This is a rectangle. Do not ever tell on me. And now it's folded in half again. Okay, but we will just do 8. Okay, this one, this is my side. It would be really cool if we had 2 of these, because then we could just like push them through really fast. That would be really, really great. I have a whole stack ready to do. I've got the mat on top. Just push it through there. You're going to continue cutting all of these, right? Okay, and so this is what I love when you take it apart. Look at how beautiful these are. They're not oversized. They're exactly the same size. Ooh, look who's back. Ooh. Looking good? Yes. Okay, so, and Teresa, would you turn them right side up for me? That's the one thing. While David passes that out for you, I'm going to entertain myself and cut all of these pieces. So, Merritt and I have just been so busy. Everybody's been busy. Yesterday it was crazy. You like the swan boat? Okay. And just take this, get rid of this, more to stack. Right side up, and it's especially hard whenever you have the white on white. And actually, I think it's Patty that prefers to cut like 4 individual pieces, stack them all right side up, and then she doesn't have to turn them like I'm doing now. What's that? What Teresa's doing for me. Oh, and I have one more and I'm nearly done. And then we can go on. And this is just, there's one little thread you can cut. Okay, and so now you're looking at your pattern, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you're going to love what we're about to do. Roll the drums, Madeline. Okay, so now what we need are 2 stacks. We're going to do the triangle in a square and the kite. And we're going to get 4 out of this red square of each, and we're going to get 4 out of this square, okay? And so the one that I want you, the page I want you to look at, let me have that, Teresa. The page that I want you to look at is page 3. Page 3. We just did everything on page 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to look at page 3. And actually, the block that is on your front has blue plaid kites. So I'm going to start, take my blue plaid. This is a square. And there's a chart on your left. It tells you which size square you need. Okay? Do you see that? Okay. You start with a square. You fold it in fours. Now, you've got the kite. And I'm just going to take the corner of the kite and kind of just overlap it about 1/4 of an inch. That's all we do, right? Okay, then now I'm going to put my piece on top, my mat on top. I think I'm pushing too many through. Ooh, we're going to get in trouble. Okay, so, ta-da, the miracle. Turn it. So now we just pull this away and we have 4 kites, right? Is that what your picture shows? Okay, 4 kites, so we're going to save that. But, ooh, so I would really like to get my triangle and a square out of this, right? Oop. That's good. Let's look that up. Yes. Ooh, look at this. Look what's left over. Oh, that looks like triangles to me.
Yes.
Woo! And Teresa's going to press it on the monster mat. And get it. Oh, how about I'm going to move away so Eric can see. And she's going to press out the folds. And good, you're doing good. And now she's folding it like this. 1.
Let me think. There,
Oh,
There.
in half.
there, like that.
Okay,
flip.
in half and half again. Ah.
There we go.
Ooh, and now it's a little pointed thing. And now we set aside the kite. Ta-da! And we get out the triangle. And we very carefully lay. Ah! Ooh! Is that good, Donna?
It is.
It's so good.
Save fabric.
Pardon me?
Love to save fabric.
I know but it's so cool that you get it right out of these pieces. Okay, so Teresa, I'm going to pass these to you. Okay, and now so I think, what are we doing here? We're going out all the time. Okay, sometimes the power supply is not working. Green, I got green. And push it through. Ta-da! Ooh!
That's awesome.
Is that awesome?
It is awesome.
So look down at your 2 pictures, and you are going to have, they're just opposites. See how they're opposites? And so now I'm just going to take, how about, since the red started out, I'm going to do the kite first anyways, because we really, do the kite first. You need to do the kite. So I have the red fold, the red square. Woo, and we're making red kites. All right. And Teresa's stacking it up. Is this pretty amazing?
I love it.
You love it? Okay, we got 4.
Perfect.
And now, we're not going to throw this away. We're going to open it up. Because, is that cool? Okay, so now press out the folds.
Scissors.
Yep.
We cut these.
You like to cut? I was going to see if we could do it without cutting.
Oh, well, let's see.
Let's just see. Press it out. Well, we're trying it. Let's just see. Okay, so now she's pressing. Teresa never knows. Poor thing. Fold it like that. Yeah, see, you don't need to cut those little scraps. Line it up. You would? Okay, fine. Cut them for Donna. But it's not bad.
I trim it at that point, once you got it folded.
Right here.
Once you got it folded.
Right here.
Yeah.
Oh, just trim it off there and there. And now I'm going to get my triangle and pass that over. All right, let us see. And lay it on there very carefully. So, Hunter, this is your first Accuquilt class you've seen. What do you think? Is this amazing? I think it's really neat. Okay, so did you see that?
Even Hunter can do that.
You can. It's just so fun. I just love it. I love it because it just makes everything so easy. All right. And now we got the triangles. Ta-da!
Love that. That's cool.
You love that? Isn't that cool? Did I tell you? Yeah, every little bitty piece you use up. Okay, let's get organized here because we are done cutting 2 blocks already. Okay, let me turn them so that the label is up and they're in order from 13, 14, 15, 16. How simple, huh?
Yes.
It looks like I'm so organized. You ought to see my sewing room. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what I had to do was we kind of made the papers a little unorganized because we thought of this idea after the instructions were all done. But just turn to page 4 and now you will see the picture of this quilt that's there. And it says just double the rough cut yardage chart. I told you that already. Just double everything so you can get 4 of these to make that little quilt. And then I put the amount for the lattice and the magic binding. Ooh, we'll show the magic binding after we get the block done. How's that? Okay, and there is your square and a square center. Easy? Okay, now let's just turn to the next page. It's very, very fast. There are 2 things. Okay, we've got everything stacked up. And I will just take the blue one since it's, let me see if I can move these out of the way. Since it's the one that is photographed. So just really follow the pictures. I will tell you, I have made so many of these, but even I screwed up. But what's important to remember when you lay out this patch that you have a square. You have to make sure you have a square. And if you start where it says lay these 2 little things together, just like that picture, and then just put them on both sides of the kite, it works really good. And then when you flip these right sides together, look at this. No tip hanging out. Not a tip at the top, not a tip at the bottom. Ooh. Are you excited? Get excited. That's better.
This is excitement.
It's really good. It's really fun. And you're just going to go ahead and assembly line sew. And I do have 4 of these done. Did we bring those over? Yeah, we did. Pardon me?
We're intent on watching you. We're all done that.
Cool. I'm just going to do one because I have a whole set. So see? You just perfect.
Yep.
Both sides. Okay. Scissors. Oh, scissors. Uh-huh. I don't see them. I have a seam ripper. Okay, you want to set the seam? I can just do it with my fingers. Okay, you set the seam and just press And that matches perfect up at the top. Okay. All eyes are on you getting the scissors. Okay, and then this is the second side. Just lined up there. You've got a bottom butt. Now take it and flip it right sides together and line up top and at the bottom. And I think whenever I did it with kind of trying to figure out how much tip to let hang over, sometimes I just don't end up with a 1/4 inch seam. So I'm really excited when you have a 1/4 inch seam. Okay, Teresa, will you press this one so it's perfect for me? Okay, they're both pressed away from the kite. Away from the kite. Away from the kite. Okay. And thank you. Thank you. And Teresa, you want to come? Oh, we have all the patches done. Whoa. Okay. So if you would lay one out, I'm going to just turn the page and you can pick up. What I love about doing these, whenever I go home, I have a whole other set all cut and ready to go. Okay, so now start with the side triangles, all right side up. And let's just take one, and I'm going to give the rest to you. And you're just going to flip to the right. And it's the same thing. That's what I love it. It's kind of amazing to me that the same size of side triangle works for both the kite and the triangle in a square. Does that surprise you? I think it's great. I love the die. I'm really excited about it because of all the patches that we already do with Quilt in a day. Okay, it's all lined up at the bottom. No tips hanging out. Okay. And it's exactly the same. Just open and push the sides toward the triangle. And one more. Whoops, one more. One more. So once again, up at the top, no tipping. Just line it up. It's a straight line.
So when you press the seams on, after you've done the sides, the triangles on the kite, press them towards the kite or away from the kite?
Away.
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 Because it's got both ways on,
Oh, I do?
on 5.
Numbers 9 and 10. Toward the kite.
Open and press.
Does it say toward the kite someplace?
Number 9 says press for the kite. 5, 9, and 10.
Place remaining sides to right of triangle. Flip right sides together. What page are you on?
I don't know what
5.
Oh, okay, I'm looking on page 6. Okay, 5, step 9. So, okay. Open and press. You're right. Set. Okay. Set seam with wrong. Okay. If you look at the picture, I know why that we had used that for another pattern, and Merritt just kind of copies things over. And yes, but look at the picture. Do you see the picture? And thank you for catching that before we have 5,000 wrong. Toward the side. You're always pressing toward the side. Look at the picture. You always are pressing toward the sides. Both of them, you press toward the sides, okay? Your picture is right on page 5. All right?
Thank you.
Good. Good. Okay, and take a look. Look at the 1/4 inch seam up at the top. Is that exciting? That's one of the hardest things. And what is unique about this patch is that you don't go right out to the corners on this. You have little 1/8 inch seams, because then the next angle that you put in, it just trims it right off. It's amazing. Amazing. Okay, so look at this. We already have one whole block done. Are you excited?
I can move the rest.
Yeah, you can move the rest. And so you have to go back to lay out the 2 different ones. Go back to page 3. So this one is the first one. This is the cover. And then we could do a second one that looks just like it. All right? Okay. So now I'm going to just sew the block together. We are flying through this, huh? Okay, so now on page 7, it shows how to sew only one. You are going to have a second one if you want to do like this little quilt. Just flip the rows, the middle row to the left. I'm going to move this closer. Okay, and then since I'm so far away, I would stack from top to bottom, heaping top on the top. But now I'm gonna, okay, I can just see me getting this wrong. I always put it, whenever I'm showing the TV, it's always kind of difficult, especially since I'm dyslexic. It's like, okay, I'm making sure. All right, it's there. It's in the right direction. Okay, it's very, very easy to sew the rows together. We did find out how to press the second time when we go across. We're going to always press the seams away from the center square. Let me hold this up. Zoom right down here, lift up. Ooh, I'm gonna have another one. Okay, now, this is the center. Little bulky right here. Little bulky, but nothing to match with it underneath. Yay, yippee. I get excited over little things like that. Don't we all? You hate matching? Who said that? Donna, you seem like such a peaceful woman now. And she hates matching. It's pretty good. It's not that bad. Okay, so now I did the vertical row. And so now I'm just going to open it up. 1, 2. Now one thing, it's not like right up to the edge right here. Can you see there's just a little bit of difference? Little bit of space. Don't worry about that. That's good. And see right here, now that match point, that 1/8 inch seam there, gone. It's perfect. Okay, so let's turn it around, flip this piece right sides together to it. And once again, you're just gonna go right over that seam. Ooh, ask me a question. What do you want to know why I do this? Huh? Why? Why do I do this? What kind of a question is that? I do it because I love it. Why do you do it?
How did you figure out how to get your seams to match and you know how you set them together and they lock?
Yeah.
And to make sure that happens?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you 2 things. First of all, that ingenious cutting. It's like always a team effort. First, I walked in and Teresa told me, oh, I'm using a square to cut. You should see how cool it is. She showed me her cutting. And then I said, oh, wait a minute, let's go one step further. And so first Teresa started it and then I finished it, right? And the same thing with the seams. I sewed it how I thought it should be sewn. And I said, no, that does not work. And so all we did was just unsew those just the little seams and do it the other way. Perfect. And that's what you're going to see right now. So it's not because we get it right the first time. We make our mistakes and then we tell you, so you don't make a mistake. And this is the seam right here. To make this center, which is very bulky, it does not lay good going into the center. So we decided just to push it away from the center, and what is underneath doesn't seem to matter. So this is the center. The seams are going away from the center, and what is underneath goes in the opposite direction. And you just lock them together. Perfect. Perfect time to ask that question. I'll pay you after the class, Barbara.
Well, it's always easier when the flaps up comes on top as well.
Right. Well, yes, we always do that because the way your sewing machine works is it pushes down on it. So when this is up, it will just push this top seam slightly into what's underneath and lock it even better.
And then you can skim the seam.
Yeah. Okay, so now, and David and I both, we said, oh my gosh, that's not perfect. And then we're holding it up. Like, can you see how it's not perfect? No? Okay, it's fine. Across the room. All right, I'm nearly.
Notice on the one that on the wall, the points are going exactly in, like the blue points on the kite. Perfect.
She did a good job, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
That was before Teresa and I started our log cabin. I wish you could all see it. We are redoing the log cabin 5th edition. Ooh, you want to show them?
Yes.
They'd love it if it weren't. Is that good?
See?
Nothing.
See how perfectly that fits in?
Yeah. Okay, and so if it's better, like if you want to make sure that these are going away, yeah, I would say we'll do it this way. I'm going to have my center on the top so that whenever I just zoom across here, once again, I'm going to push this away from the center here, up, and what's underneath is down, and I'm just feeling with my finger and holding with my stiletto. And once you do that, oh, my stiletto! See, Claire, I can't live without my stiletto.
Oh, I love my stiletto.
Eleanor, I think that would pass with the Inspector General.
What's that?
I think your points would pass with the Inspector General. You know who that is, don't you?
Oh, Al, I want to tell them the new stiletto lady had a child.
Oh, she did. So it's Claire's husband who did all of the stilettos for years, and they passed the business on to his granddaughter.
Yeah, Mr. Toole now is a great-grandfather.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, congratulations.
Wow. A boy or a girl?
She figured that one out. A boy or girl?
A boy.
Okay.
Doo-doo.
Look at that. Oh, look at that is awesome.
Awesome. And now
And that didn't take-
you want to take and just lay everything flat and just go right down through, and I think it said, let's see, away from center row.
Center.
Away from center row, okay? Oh my goodness, that was fun. So,
We're talking about half an hour for that,
from,
to cut it and sew it.
well, I actually didn't do all of the patches. We had some
No,
of
I
them
mean
done.
that, for doing that.
Yeah, but it doesn't take long. Doesn't take long. Okay, so if you go back to your yardage now of that little quilt on page 4, it just gives you the finishing yardage, and let's take a look at the quilt because it's really fun and fast. So these little lattice strips in between are 2 inches wide. You cut 4 of them at 2 inches by 12.5. Got that? And then around the outside, you have 4 4-inch borders. 4 4-inch borders. And the setting is extremely easy to put together. And we did something that is really fun called the magic binding. And as of yet, Quilt in a Day has not written this out and published it, but if you go on the internet and type in magic binding, you will get it very easily. Magic binding. And there are 2 size strips. Can you see the red? Doesn't it make it look fun?
Yes.
Well, a lot of the antique quilts are done with like this. It's just like a little rim, and it's the widest one. Okay, Teresa said this is really important. The red is 1 3/4 inches wide, and Accuquilt has a 1 3/4 inch strip. Yes, strip cutter. And then the second one, the blue, is only 1.5 inches wide. And it's a very, it's such an easy technique. And Teresa's going to tell you about it. I didn't get to do it yet. But anyhow, did Eric go real close on it so you can see it?
No, not yet.
Oh, go real close just so you see that little red and then the little blue. And she's got the, it's polka dot too. Oh, it's polka dot. Look at the back. It's more polka dot.
Yep, cute.
And then you
It's just really fun.
from the back to the front.
Okay, so you're going to have to use the mic, yeah. So what do we want to, do you want to just stand right here?
Well, of course, you hear that you can go online and do magic vine. They seem to sew always on a 45-degree angle. I do not need to do that ever because you just do it straight. You waste a lot of fabric, you know. And then another thing I did do is when I sew my 2 strips together, I offset them by 10 inch, like cut a 10-inch piece from one of your colors and put it on the top or bottom. That way the seams are not exactly right next to each other, you both. And then another thing after we done it in a class, I noticed like you make sure this is your binding. Your binding is smaller. We always think it's
The
bigger.
outside.
Okay,
Blue.
so your binding, whatever color you use, that's why I don't want to refer to any color. Your binding is the smaller piece, which is 1.5. And your accent fabric is the bigger piece. Okay? And in another thing, and it's because it happened to us, we say, oh, well, my accent fabric is darker. I'm going to press towards the darker. No, you press towards your binding fabric. Okay? And the reason is because if you press, towards your accent fabric, when you come and try to press them together, it's a big bulk right there. Okay? And it doesn't lay flat. And then, but if you press towards your binding fabric, when you come and press them together, it goes right towards your binding. And then the other next part, you always start from the back towards the front. See? Look. From the back, which you use your binding, that's your binding fabric. From the back, you come back, you sew them together, right? And bring it over, and then
To the
top
front.
stitch to the front. You see? Now you see right there your piping. I called my piping, but
It looks like piping.
okay.
It looks like piping.
All right, so that's so it is. It's just like a regular binding, I would say, because paper looks a lot much difficult. But you go from the back. Just remember, it goes from the back towards the front instead of the front towards the back. Okay.
Wow.
Thank you.
Woo! We did it. Oh my goodness. I think it's really a cute quilt. I'm glad that we did it. It was really, really fun. It is adorable. It's kind of guiding star, huh?
Patriotic.
Very patriotic. We'll have to do patriotic all over again.
It would
Cool. So thank you. Thank you for tuning into that great quilt.